Okay, this is Ego Defense Mechanisms, Part 1.
By Richard von Gremler.
Narrated by Matt and Madeline Anderson.
Let's get started.
Oh, and you can find a link to this article in the
description box below. Ego defense mechanisms, commonly referred to as emotional barriers, are the culprits responsible for the complexities restricting individuals from consciously discovering and understanding the majority of their genuine emotional thought processes.
Okay, so that's, I don't know, that's a bit much there. There's a lot going on here. So first we say, well, give us a brief synopsis of what he's saying there.
This basically means that ego defense mechanisms that he mentioned there are they're emotional barriers.
Okay.
And they will prevent us from consciously understanding most of our emotions and feelings, and
Okay, so consciously, what does it mean to be conscious of something?
It basically means that you're very aware. You're very aware of what's going on.
So there's three.
Mm-hmm. There is conscious, subconscious, and unconscious.
Okay, so what does it mean if you're unconscious of something?
You're unconscious. You're just unaware. You're completely unaware at the moment. Like it's still somewhere in the back of your head, but you're just completely unaware of it in the present moment.
So there are things that are in your mind
mm-hmm.
that you, but you're not aware of them, that they're in your mind.
Yes.
There are things going on, emotions.
They're still
thoughts.
they're still in your mind, but you're not aware that they're going on inside of there.
And you really can't even access them.
Not really, no.
So then what is subconscious? Is that similar to something that you're unconscious of?
It's kind of it's just like in between the conscious and the unconscious. It's like you're just kind of aware of it, but you're not like, it's just something that you push to the back of your mind. You kind of just kind of forget about it. It's not really, it's there, but you don't really, you just push to the back of your mind because it's not like it's like procrastinating or something like that. You have to do something, but then you get distracted from someone else, so you put that thought of doing whatever you have to do in the back of your mind, and that's going to be in your subconscious.
So like this sort of feeling I have in the back of my mind that, I really need to work on this paper
mm-hmm.
that I have all day. I carry that feeling with me all day, kind of in the back of my mind. So that's like the subconscious. It's like it's on the back burner. It's in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's something you're avoiding, but it could be other things.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of halfway between something you're directly aware of.
Yeah.
So ego defense mechanisms are something that are a barrier
mm-hmm.
to consciously being aware of some of the emotions that are going on inside of you. So you've got some emotions going on inside of you, and your ego defense mechanisms are blocking you from seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You ready for the next paragraph?
Yeah, I think let's go ahead and read the second paragraph.
All right. Fundamentally, ego defense mechanisms are an inherent phenomenon which afford a temporary emotional divergence whenever encountering specific emotional stress situations, stressors. What happens is ego defenses constrain the conscious mind from experiencing the tangible dynamics of particular stressors, which comprises all stressors exceeding an individual's emotional threshold.
Okay, so can you give us a quick sum up of what he's saying there?
I mean, really, he just makes this way bigger than it has to be. This is basically just like ego defense mechanisms are made to protect us from experiencing all these stress and stressors that we can't handle, just beyond what we can handle. It's very, very simple what he's trying to say there. He just adds all these words in here.
So they protect us from experiencing stress beyond what we can deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's. I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about there?
Not really. It's just that's basically what it is. It's not really.
Okay. You want to move on to the third paragraph?
Yeah, the third one. Let's go there. As a normal aspect of our everyday struggles in today's society, we are constantly inundated with an eclectic array of unforeseen experiences and exposures, which are emotional challenges, coupled with the accompanying stress. And each of these unique and diverse stressors will directly affect an individual's subliminal and perceptible behavior.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, you have a breakdown of what you're saying there?
As a normal part of life in our society, we will constantly be experiencing just like challenges and stress, constantly, all the time. I think you'll always have unconscious stressors and subconscious stressors and conscious stressors, and just all the time, and it's always challenging, just
right. So a lot of times we have this idea that everyday life isn't necessarily containing a lot of stress, but what he's saying here is that every moment involves a degree of conflict, a degree of stress. We're always making choices, whether consciously or unconsciously, and because we have to constantly navigate what we're doing from moment to moment.
Yeah.
We may not experience most of it as stressful, but the reality is there's a degree of stress to everything that we do.
Everything.
And that, he says, affects our subliminal and perceptible, our subliminal behavior and the behavior that we can see. So what is the subliminal behavior? What does that mean?
I would say it's kind of just like the subconscious, It's that prefix sub, where it's kind of just like
just below the surface?
Yeah, you know it's there, but you kind of just, you have this stress. You're stressing about work or something, but you put it to the back of your mind because you don't want to think about it.
Well, he's not talking about stress. He's talking about behavior at this.
Oh yes,
this point. So,
you're like you're kind of like you're thinking about it, like thinking. Your thinking is like this behavior. You're thinking about it. You're stressing about this. it. I mean, this is the behavior, and
no. So let's just contrast it with. He says perceptible. He says subliminal and perceptible. So it must be the opposite of perceptible.
Yeah.
It's behavior that is not obvious, not something that's.
Well, yeah, it's not. It's like it's kind of just like it's like the subconscious. It's not obvious. It's not like obviously there, but you're doing it. You do know that you're doing it. It's like you subconsciously know that you're doing these subliminal behaviors.
So I think that any behavior is behavior that we could be conscious of.
Yeah, anything.
If it's a behavior, then there's nothing stopping us from seeing it except the fact that we don't notice a lot of our own behavior and a lot of the behavior of others. So I think a subliminal behavior would be one that we don't typically notice it, but yet it communicates information. Sometimes it's how we get an intuition that somebody's maybe they've got bad motives. We don't know why. Well, we've picked up on a subliminal behavior of theirs, or we might have this intuition that they're lying or something. Even though we can't consciously identify what behavior revealed that. That's how I look at it.
All right, let's go to the next paragraph. All right. The only circumstances where stressors could be considered stabilized is when stressors have been thoroughly explored and resolved. Although in some circumstances, even though a stressor is understood and has been resolved, there may be some residual effects, depending on the particular dynamics and severity of the stress.
All right. That one's not so hard, I don't think. You have a little summary?
Basically it means to be stabilized, these stressors, they must be thoroughly explored and resolved. You can't just tell you have a stress because you're afraid your friend's not gonna forgive you for something. You're stressing that you're not gonna have that friendship anymore. So you go up to the person and you say sorry, and then it's okay. You're oh, I'm sorry, and you think everything's okay because you just said you're sorry. You have to actually really, you should really ask this person, what's wrong? What do I need to do to make this up to you? You can't just, say sorry and, make it resolved. You have to be like, sorry's not enough all the time. So you have to really resolve it. And then you'll really get that stress out of the way. Like, you'll know right then and there that now I know
How do you know?
for a fact that my friend, for a fact that my friend forgives me, because your friend was like,
wait, is it because they forgive you? Is that how you know?
no, you have to forgive yourself, and you have to end the friend. You want this to keep this friendship. Yes, you want to say sorry, but you also want to know, what did I do wrong? What can I do to make this up to you? And then, like, I think it's way easier to forgive yourself once this other person forgives you. And then this other person will forgive you, then you'll forgive yourself, and then this really will be.
So you're saying that we have to be dependent on other people forgiving us?
Not all the time. I mean, sometimes someone won't forgive you, but then it'll be way harder for you to forgive yourself.
The article is going to go into more detail, I believe, on how we actually do this, how we explore and resolve stressors. And then he says at the end, there may be some residual effects. Even once we've basically resolved something, it's not like we can always make so there's no side effects of the experience of the stress. Sometimes we still have lingering
feelings and
side effects.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're gonna stop there for this video, and we'll continue with
remember, you can find the article in the description box below, or we put the article up on the screen. Sometimes you can just read. Thanks for watching.